Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
All right, we roll all the way back until 1947, and Uncle Milty before he came to television. And this is a salute to what made him famous. September 16th, 1947, The Milton Berle Show, and a salute to radio.
From Radio City, New York, here is the Milton Berle Show. With Bert Kelton, Jack Albertson, Arnold Stang, Mary Shipp, Arthur Q. Bryan, our singing star Dick Forney, the music of Ray Block and his orchestra, and yours truly, Frank Gallup. Ladies and gentlemen, this week sees the return to the air of many of the comedians we've missed during the summer. We now bring you a comedian no one wants to miss. They'd like to get him on the first shot. And here he is, Milton Berle.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Gallup, I'm horrified. Literally and veritably horrified at your intimation that people come here to shoot at me. You know very well, sir, that every single person in this audience is my friend. That's why before they get in here, they search for weapons by the ushers. Just a precaution. Miss me, didn't you? I keep telling them to search the ushers, too. That's the way I like to start a program, with whimsical comedy. You know, nothing hokey. Well, Mr. Gallup, the big radio season is about to start, and soon all the comedians will be back.
Berle, do you mean there were no comedians on the air all summer?
Well, I was on all summer.
You haven't answered my question.
Mr. Gallup, I'm serious. Tonight we're welcoming back to the air my colleagues in comedy.
You mean they're going to do to the people all winter what you did to them all summer?
Yes?
Psychiatry's in for a big year.
Psychiatry, Mr. Gallup, you've been right alongside of me all summer. It hasn't had any effect on you. You look like a normal person, if you can find a normal person who wants to look like that. I'm sorry, Mr. Gallup, but don't try to match wits with me, because what's that ad-libbing? Because that's what I'm famous for.
That on your 12 toes.
Oh, that's Jim Dandy. That's jazzy. That's clever, Mr. Gallup. Did you make that up out of your own head? I noticed some of the parts were missing. Some of the parts were missing. Oh, see, Mr. Gallup, don't start with me. I'll murder you.
You'll murder me?
Yeah.
Oh, why, I'll cut you down like the hem on a last year's dress.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Wyatt peasant.
Yes, Mr. Gallup, sir.
Berle, is that a dimple in your cheek, or is that the place where they blow up your head?
Oh, yeah? Well, let me tell you.
Wyatt.
Yeah.
Is that your mouth, or is that a new tunnel to Jersey?
Is that my mouth? Well, I guess I stopped him. Go ahead. Ad-lib with me.
Berle, you couldn't ad-lib a splinter if you were sitting on Charlie McCarthy's knee.
Miserable joke. Good audience. But No, Mr. Gallup, please. Now, will you please give me a chance? I mean that sincerely. I just can't stand here without saying something. The Republicans will want to run me for president. Republicans will want to run me for president. Say, the prices the way they are, it's no sin to lay an egg. No, all kidding aside, Mr. Gallup, tonight, Bob Hope's coming back on the air, and, why, in a couple of weeks, I'll have more jokes than I can handle. I'm starting to believe those wild rumors myself. But without further ado, let us welcome to the air the returning comedy shows with a salute to that great invention that has made it all possible, radio. Radio, mighty voice of the world. Radio, lifeblood of advertising. Radio, that wonderful invention where I can reach millions of people who fortunately cannot reach me. Radio.
But it is to the sad and lonely that radio gives its greatest service. When you're in the depths of despair, you turn on your radio and hear these wonderful, comforting words.
Do you need money? Are you hopelessly in debt today because you happen to like butter? Here's what to do. Wait a minute. What's this interruption?
Stop this program. Stop.
Stop the program. Who are you?
I, sir, am Livingston Genzel.
I don't blame you.
I'm with the National Broadcasting Company. Mr. Berle, why weren't you down in the main office this morning with the rest of the comedians who are coming back on the air?
The main office?
Yes. Before they could start a new season, they had to take the NBC pledge. You didn't.
New season? Don't be silly. I've been on the air all summer.
You... all summer?
Yes.
Over NBC?
Yes, I've been on all summer over NBC.
Oh, Mr. Berle, you're joking.
This is great. Here I've been on all summer and
Excuse me, let me check that. Where's the phone? Give me the head technician.
Look, you can take my word.
Hello, Schnauzer? Genzel on this end. Was Milton Berle on all summer? Berle. B-E-R-L-E. Really? Well, what do you know?
Well, satisfied?
He said you were on all summer.
I know.
But the microphones weren't on.
That's great. Well, let's get on with the show.
Sorry, Mr. Berle, you can't start the new season without taking the NBC pledge.
Now, look, we're in the middle.
Berle!
Yeah.
In the next studio, we have Harry Horlick and his A&P gypsies just aching to take over.
Okay. Cast, actors, this way, please. All right, quiet. We're ready for the pledge, Mr. Genzel.
Thank you. Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I solemnly swear...
I solemnly swear
to uphold the standards of NBC.
to uphold the standards of NBC.
I pledge on my honor never to tell jokes such as...
I pledge on my honor never to tell jokes such as
Your father's mustache.
your father's mustache,
Parties given by Howard.
parties given by Howard,
Hughes.
Used,
The new Studebaker where you can't tell
the new Studebaker where you can't tell
which end is
which end is
which.
which.
Should I violate this oath?
Should I violate this oath,
May I live in eternal shame and disgrace
may I live in eternal shame and disgrace
on another network.
on another network.
So help me, Mary Margaret McBride.
So help me, Mary Margaret McBride.
Thank you. Now will you join me in our network song?
Oh, NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. Our hearts and voice we pledge to thee, NBC, oh, NBC.
To thy fair name our hearts are sworn. You give us Boulevard and Carlton born.
Oh, NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Take it easy now. Take it easy, Mr. Genzel.
It always does this to me.
Take it easy.
I guess I'm just a sentimental old fool.
Mr. Genzel is such a nice man, isn't he? You know, this NBC's got such a big organization, and yet it has heart.
Oh, come, Berle, let's not slobber.
Mr. Gallup, must I always be the fool and the clown? Can't I get a little mellow?
You're beyond that. You're gamey.
Mr. Gallup, I'm warning you, if you don't stop with that ad-libbing,
Yes?
you'll murder me.
Oh, kid around with Frank Gallup. Berle, Let's not forget one of radio's great contributions to the public, the news commentators.
Oh, I see, Mr. Gallup. And tonight?
You are H.V. Gabriel Berle.
Yes?
Ladies and gentlemen, H.V. Gabriel Berle.
There's good news tonight, folks. From an unusually reliable source, we learn that the unusually reliable source I quoted yesterday isn't very reliable. Usually. But as the president of Standard Oil said to the president of Mobile Oil, your gas is as good as mine.
Oh, Lord. September 16th, 1947, Milton Berle on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medishare right now. Medishare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medishare can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more The Milton Berle Show from September 16th, 1947, and a salute to radio.
And now, let us continue our salute to radio as we present...
Radio Forum tonight. Radio Forum tonight. The question: if you have a lady in the balcony, why tell Dr. IQ?
Thank you, Mr. Gallup. We're ready now for questions from the floor. Let's start here with this tall gentleman in the aisle teaching his girl how to swim. Young man, you have a question?
Yes, Mr. Berle, this year my organization voted you the radio comedian most likely to succeed.
Oh, thank you. Tell me, who did you vote last year as the comedian most likely to succeed?
You. We'll keep trying.
Thank you. Let us go on. All right, this young man with the chinchilla sideburns. Young man, what is your name?
My name is Oxidol Sparkle.
Oxidol Sparkle?
Yeah, it's a soap. Everyone in my family is named after a soap. I got a brother named Ivory.
Ivory?
Yeah.
Why?
He's 99 and 44 100%.
99 and 41 400% what?
We ain't found out yet.
You mean everyone in your family is named after a soap that describes him?
Oh, sure, even my baby brother.
I see. What's his name?
Does.
All right, Oxidol, you have a question that has to do with radio.
Oh, yeah, I got a question, but you won't let me say what I want to say anyway.
Of course
I just have to open my mouth, and you'll say I'm out of order.
No, I won't.
You ask a person to talk, and then you try and muzzle him.
No, but I
What
did...
are you, an investigating committee or something?
No,
This is my country, and nobody can stop me from shooting off my big bazoo.
I know, but
Yeah, this is my country,
Okay.
and I can yada till I'm blue in the face.
All right,
This is my country, and I can even flop my trap at Harry Truman.
Please,
Oh, shut up, you dictator.
Now, please. Please, young man. Don't jump at me. Now, please try to control yourself. Young man, if you have a question, let's have it.
Okay. Do I look like Gregory Peck?
Oh, please, sit down. Now, let's hear from the fairer sex. All right, this lady in the corner breading the codfish balls. Young lady, what is your name?
Tallulah Feeney, I'm a homemaker.
I see. And you have a question?
Yeah, how can I stop my husband Brentwood from bringing home them prizes from quiz shows? Our living room looks like a push cart.
Your husband brings home a lot of prizes?
We're loaded with electrical stuff. Washing machines, irons, vacuum cleaners. If you can plug it in, we got it.
Really?
Last week he went to take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it?
He took it, but they caught him.
He was eliminated?
Yeah, but he come back to win the giant jackpot.
He answered the question?
Nah, he had the biggest pot.
Good for him.
I met my husband Brentwood on one of them giveaway shows.
You did, eh?
Yeah, they blindfolded me and told me the first thing I touched, I could have.
Yes?
I felt around and touched Brentwood.
You touched Brentwood? How come?
His nose was cold. I thought it was the knob on a refrigerator.
I see.
The thing that drove me nuts was when he went on Truth or Consequences.
He was on Truth and Consequences?
Ralph Edwards made him pretend for a week that he was a young housewife.
You mean for a week your husband acted like a young housewife?
It was murder. Every night after dinner, he got on my lap and pestered me for a mink coat.
And for acting like a young housewife, did he get a prize?
Yeah, they give him a book. It sure scared him.
What was the name of the book?
So you're going to have a baby.
Thank you, Mrs. Feeney. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, as a fitting climax to this forum, let us extend an official welcome to the programs returning to the air as we all join together and sing. The comedy shows are back, it's true. Doo-dah.
Hoo-ha.
Hope and Allen and Fibber McGrew.
Oh, hoo-ha, hey.
Oh, watch the comedians sing and dance. Doo-dah.
Hoo-ha.
Some will even drop their pants.
Oh, hoo-ha, hey.
Turn your radio on, synchronize your clocks. You're stuck in the house until next June, listening for the yachts.
Hoo-ha.
Burl, we've done a lot of joshing about radio tonight. I think it's time for some bouquets.
Flower bouquets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Frankly, I was quite proud this weekend when I read that at their first annual conference, the National Broadcasting Company at its stations announced that beginning January 1st, no mystery or crime programs will be heard on this network before children's bedtime.
Gee, that's fine.
Yes, they found that these programs overstimulate children, make them nervous. Haven't you found that so with your son, Junior?
I'm glad you asked me that. Just... Good dovetailing. Just this week, what I went through with Junior, Mr. Gallup, let me tell you about it. My wife and I were home.
Junior, come home.
Oh, darling, this is awful. It's dark and Junior's still out.
Junior, come home.
He's getting to be a regular lassie. Close the window, dear. It's no use.
Milton, we have to do something about him. This is the fourth night in a row he's gnawed through his leash.
It's those crime programs that he listens to. 4 a.m, he sneaks into our bedroom and holds lighted matches to the soles of my feet and yells, "Take that, Flatfoot."
He could only get some sleep.
I know. He's the only kid in the neighborhood who has Benzedrine on his Wheaties. Shh. Oh, here he comes.
St. Louis women with their diamond rings. Lisa Meadow.
I'll teach you to stay out after dark.
Milton, you know what the doctor said about slapping Junior on the top of his head.
I was careful, dear. I avoided the point. Now, Junior, darling, sit down. Daddy has something to tell you.
Okay, take it slow and wait for your laughs.
Junior, you are not going to listen to any more of those crime programs.
Of course, you know this means I leave home.
Junior, I wish you wouldn't keep saying that. You build up Mommy and Daddy's hopes, but you never go. Now, Junior, get this. I want you to understand this. Starting tonight, you're going to get some sleep. Now, go to bed.
You're kidding.
No, go to bed.
Hey, Pop.
Yes.
I got news for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you set?
Yes.
Are you tuned in?
Yes.
I'm not going to bed.
Junior! You are going to bed, and that's final.
Okay. Clear the deck. Here it comes.
No, Junior, please.
Oh, come on,
No, Junior. Junior.
Where's the gas?
Junior.
Where's the gas?
Junior. Quiet. Junior. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, what a child. Now stop chewing on my shoes. Darling, this settles it. The first thing tomorrow morning, we're taking him to a child psychiatrist. Excuse me, miss. We're the Burles. We have an appointment.
Of course, Dr. Clyde will be right out.
Junior, put your clothes back on. This is the waiting room.
Mrs. Burle. And this is Junior.
Junior! You see what we mean, Doctor?
Doctor, if he would only sleep.
Why, it's just an active imagination. Instead of the crime programs, let him listen to something soothing. A radio bedtime story. It'll lull his mind. Now I'll go in with him.
Watch yourself, Doctor. He's tricky.
Mr. Berle, I've handled hundreds of youngsters. Step inside, Sonny.
Okay, folks, we're through. Let's go.
Well, Doctor, how did it go?
Fine. Quick, somebody give me a cigarette.
Doctor, will he be all right?
Oh, everything is well. He's a nice boy.
Good. I'll bring Junior back to you tomorrow.
You're kidding.
No, I want you to see him every day.
No, not that. I'll kill myself. That's what I'll do. I'll kill myself.
No, wait a minute.
It's all your fault.
Take it easy.
Junior,
Please, Doctor, stop it.
He's getting like you two.
The Milton Berle Show, described by him as the best radio show he ever did, a very funny variety show, and it served as a springboard to the movies. But he did a whole bunch of other shows that were not very good. Kiss and Make Up, Let Yourself Go, 3 Ring Time, a comedy variety show sponsored by Ballantine Ale. And his previous shows did not work well. This one was helped with scripting by Hal Block, who many of you may remember from the early What's My Line shows. And a great cast, Arnold Stang and others. Milton Berle, September 16, 1947, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Attention Walmart shoppers. Now you can order one of the most advanced hearing aids on the market for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. Hearing Assist's most advanced product lineup includes models that use an exclusive app for enhanced control over what you want to hear. It's perfect if you have a smartphone or iPhone to hear everything better. And we have 2 great ways for you to get one. You can call the number at the end of this ad and order directly. Or you can call this same number and we will text you a complete list of Walmart Vision Center locations. We make it easy for you to hear better. Remember, call this number today to order and have a text message instantly sent to your phone to find the Walmart Vision Center near you. Here's that special number.
Call 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. That's 800-360-0597.
Before we wrap up this version of the Milton Berle Show from September 16, 1947 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, a couple of words about the outstanding supporting cast he had. Of course, Arnold Stang, you're hearing here, he would be Berle's TV sidekick as well. Also, Pert Kelton, who was one of the originals on the Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason. Jack Albertson, best known for his work on Chico and the Man. Arthur Q. Bryan, so many great roles. Ed Begley, and an announcer who traditionally wasn't that funny, Frank Gallup, who did a wonderful job on this show. The show would run from March of 1947 until April of 1948. Now the conclusion of the Milton Berle Show, September 16th, 1947, and a salute to radio.
Milton, it's almost time for that bedtime story Dr. Clyde suggested.
Oh, good, darling. Junior, come here.
What is it now?
Junior, sit down. We're all going to listen to a radio program. I'll turn on the radio.
This is station KLOP, and here, kiddies, is your old Uncle Sleepwell with another adventure of little Josephine in Bingo Bingo Land.
Look, Milton, Junior's eyes are closed.
Isn't he adorable?
Good evening, kiddies. Well, this is Uncle Sleepwell again. When we left little Josephine yesterday, she was walking through the jungle. Suddenly, she stopped and said...
What's that?
An elephant had stepped on little Josephine's foot. Slowly, it crushed her toes.
Oh, no. No, it's horrible.
Easy, Junior, easy.
Slowly, the elephant rolled over Josephine. One by one, her ribs snapped.
Mommy, hold my hand!
All around her, gleaming eyes of tigers, lions, panthers. Then they all sprang at her. They tore at her. She tried to run. There was no escape. What will happen to little
Tune in again tomorrow, kiddies, and find out what happened to little Josephine. Pleasant dreams.
What'll happen to little Josephine?
Junior, go to bed.
Bed? No, I'll see those gleaming eyes. Those breaking bones. No. What happened to little Josephine?
Yes, what happened to little Josephine?
Shame on you, darling. Now, take Junior to bed and stop acting like a baby. It was silly. It was only a bedtime story. It's a make-believe.
Come, Junior.
Scared those eyes.
How do you like that? Imagine scaring kids like that. Where's that phone? I'll tell him something. Scaring children. Hello, station KLOP? Let me talk to Uncle Sleepwell. Yes. Hello, Uncle Sleepwell? I want to ask you something. What happened to little Josephine? Tomorrow? But I can't wait till tomorrow. I won't be able to sleep. Those gleaming eyes, those screams. Please. What happened to little Josephine? What happened to her?
Good writing and a good supporting cast for Milton Berle. September 16th, 1947, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Whether you're taking your pets on the road or a walk around the block, you need to be aware of heat stroke. Hi, I am Dr. Jose Arce, immediate past president of the American Veterinary Medical Association. It's important that pets get out and enjoy the warm weather and fresh air, but here are some reminders to help keep your pets safe in the heat. Tune into the day's forecast to see how hot it will be. Limit exercise on hot days or schedule walks earlier or later on the day when it's cooler. If outside, stay on the grass instead of the hot pavement. Make sure your pet has unlimited fresh water and access to shade. Never leave your pet in a closed vehicle, and leave your pet at home in air conditioning when you go out. If you see signs of heat strokes in your pet, such as excessive panting, drooling, unsteadiness, or abnormal gum and tongue color, call your veterinarian or nearest emergency clinic. For more info on summer pet safety, visit avma.org. That's avma.org.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, time for an episode of the soap opera Claudia. This episode, A Steak Dinner Goes to the Dogs, was originally broadcast September 16th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax. And while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Oh, David, this restaurant's eyes are bigger than my stomach.
Not a bad steak, is it?
Steak all right, sir?
Fine.
It's enormous, waiter. Every mouthful I take, it gets bigger.
Say, darling, are you feeling all right?
I'm feeling stuffed, that's all.
People don't usually complain about how much food they've been given.
This steak, it's a whole side of a cattle.
For a farmer's wife, you know sad little about a cattle.
That was the architect's wife in me talking.
Yeah. Go on, eat some more. Don't talk so much.
Don't you get tired of chewing?
Well, don't you get tired of talking?
I guess you don't get tired of chewing. The trouble with steak is, it's all steak.
A brilliant observation.
What I mean is that after the first mouthful, the rest is exactly the same. It goes right on being a steak to the bitter end. Only it isn't bitter.
I suppose you'd prefer it if the first bite was steak, and then the second veal, and the third lamb, and the fourth kidney, and the fifth liver.
Skip the kidney. Otherwise, I think you've got something. Each mouthful would be different. Very interesting.
A repast for a gourmet.
What was that?
Eat your steak.
Are you really finishing yours?
I am.
So delicious. I hope I can, too.
So you like my backwoods steak restaurant,
I love it. I actually think these steaks are cooked on charcoal.
Of course they are. It says so right there.
Oh, you're so naive. You believe everything you read. Oh, I hope I can finish this. I'd certainly hate to waste it. I'll never finish chewing it. Listen, you want a little piece of it, David? Just a little piece.
I most certainly do not.
It's a crime to leave it behind.
Then eat it and be quiet.
I like eating out, don't you? I wonder how the baby is.
You just left him an hour ago.
Does that keep me from wondering how he is?
No, I suppose not.
It's funny how I always think of him first. After you, I mean.
Well, my feelings aren't hurt.
For years and years, I didn't have any baby at all. I didn't even have a husband.
You don't say.
Now they're both second nature. Can't imagine myself without them. I don't even want to imagine myself without them. Oh, David, how can one person have so much?
Well, you have too much, young woman.
I know.
But I mean steak.
Oh, you just can't be serious, not even about serious things.
Most especially not about serious things.
I don't want to get solemn. It's just that every now and then I feel...
Yeah, I know. Me too.
David, I wish you weren't sitting all the way across the table from me.
It's a good thing that I am. Have you forgotten we're in a public restaurant?
I love restaurants, but now all of a sudden I wish we were home.
You don't get a steak like this at home.
I don't mean for steak. Are you complaining about Bertha's cooking?
I am not. But there's some things that are better eaten out than in.
Like what?
Well, steak happens to be one of them.
It's the charcoal. David, do you realize that you're paying at least $2 for the privilege of having one steak cooked on charcoal?
I realize.
It's an awful lot of money for a few burned-out pieces of coal or wood or... What is charcoal made of?
Nothing that you would understand.
Well, anyway, it's very expensive.
Do you ever think of anything but money and how expensive everything is?
I told you I think of the baby and you some of the time. How am I doing on my steak?
You haven't eaten it yet, but you're coming along. Look, Sissy, don't force yourself.
I will finish this steak or bust.
You'll finish that steak and bust.
Anything you say, darling. You know, I sort of feel that all the time we spend living not on our farm is time wasted.
You've certainly changed your tune in 6 months of farm living.
Haven't I, though?
You certainly have.
When you grow as big a family as we are, David, we simply have to live on a farm. Why, look at Bluff. He's twice the size he was when we first bought him in New York.
No, don't blame his size on New York. He was just a puppy when we first got him. He's still a puppy, as a matter of fact.
David, you don't suppose he's going to grow any more, do you?
He certainly is.
Oh, my
Bluff
gosh.
is going to be the biggest darn Great Dane you ever saw.
He is already. And he's at least twice as expensive to feed as you are.
Well, sometimes I think I get scraps.
You do? How'd you guess? He is a sweet dog.
A man should never be without a dog, you know?
Nor a wife.
What about her?
A man shouldn't be without her either.
Well, a dog's more important.
Oh, thank you.
A dog can't talk back. How you doing with that steak?
You're being so cruel. My steak is sticking in my throat.
I get blamed for everything.
That's what you're for, my man? Oh. David, I cannot eat another mouthful.
All right. You don't have to. You want any dessert?
Dessert?
Mm-hmm.
If I could eat dessert, I'd finish up this steak. Oh, I hate not to. David, you sure you don't want a little bite? Just a little bite?
Take it away. Take it away from me.
All right. You needn't get so huffy about it. I mean, stuffy.
I am stuffy. Well, and that's all we want for dinner? Make up your mind.
Absolutely. Oh, look at your plate. It's so clean. My conscience is hurting me.
It's not your conscience, it's your purse.
You're right.
You just feel that if you don't eat every last scrap of steak, you're not getting your money's worth. I know.
I'm getting indigestion. That's what I'm getting.
Waiter.
Listen, if you wanted a waiter now, darling, you should have started calling him a half an hour ago. Don't you know in steak restaurants, waiters are always looking the other way?
In any restaurant.
Oh, anyway, we're not in much of a hurry. Mama's a very undemanding babysitter.
She's all alone in the house, though.
She doesn't mind.
Well, I don't think we ought to be away too long, though.
You know, sometimes I think I married you because you're so sweet to my mother.
That's why I'm sweet to her. Waiter! Waiter!
I think you've caught his eye. My goodness, he looks angry at being disturbed. Listen, David, I hate leaving this steak behind. It'll get so lonesome. Look at that bone. Listen, I'll bet you that at midnight, just before I go to bed, I'll be so hungry I'll wish I had this lovely cold steak bone to chew on. I love cold steak.
Get that look out of your eye, Claudia.
What look?
You are not going to drop that steak bone into your pocketbook and walk out of here like a thief.
It's my steak. You bought it for me. You're paying for it. I wouldn't drop it in my pocketbook anyway. I have some manners. I resent your implying that I would.
Well, I wouldn't put it past you.
What if I get hungry at midnight?
You'll eat a graham cracker.
I like steak better, and this is mine. I wish I could.
Now, if you have an idea, forget it.
Oh, your check, sir?
Yeah, that'll be all, thank you.
No dessert, sir?
No, thanks.
The steaks were enormous.
Madam, was there anything the matter with yours?
No, nothing. Except it's too big.
I noticed you haven't finished it.
I wish I could, but I just can't. You know, it really is an awful shame to waste it, isn't it?
Well, it can't be helped. Sometimes people
Look,
can't.
I wonder if you could do me a favor.
Claudia?
Yes, ma'am?
I wonder if you could just wrap this steak and bone up for me. You see, I have a dog, and he's a very big dog, and...
Why, of course, madam. I'll be happy to wrap this steak and bone up for you.
Oh, that'll be fine. Bluff simply loves steak, but we just don't like to buy it for him.
Why, of course not. I have a dog, too, so I understand.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I'll be back in a moment, madam, and
Thanks.
I'll bring the check, sir.
Thank you. Now, are you satisfied?
He's very sweet and thoughtful about it, wasn't he? I guess people do this all the time. It's just that you're too hoity-toity.
I think that is the lowest of the low.
What?
Blaming your weakness for not being willing to part with a thing on your poor, defenseless dog.
Well, I thought you'd be embarrassed if I told the waiter it was for me.
You have no conscience, absolutely no conscience. Blaming bluff. Now,
Well, it worked. So what's the difference?
we should have told the waiter to wrap up a few French fried potatoes.
Dogs don't eat French fries.
Dogs don't, but I do.
Oh, darling. Now, just for that, before we go to bed, if you're hungry, I'll be happy to share my steak and bone with you. Oh, I guess we better go up to bed. Oh, what time is it?
5:12. Stop yawning.
You sleepy? Stop yourself.
Mildly.
Me too. Oh, it's been a lovely evening. I'm hungry.
You aren't.
I am. I knew I was going to be, too. I told you so early, remember? I've been waiting all evening to get hungry.
Well, I don't see how you can possibly be hungry.
You forget I didn't eat my whole steak.
Oh.
Oh, anyway, why should I make excuses to you? I'm hungry, and that's that.
What are you going to do about it?
Eat, of course.
Oh.
I'm going to eat my steak. I'm going to nibble on that lovely bone.
Well, that would be attractive.
I'm going to the kitchen. Hey, don't you at least want a glass of milk with me? I hate eating alone.
All right. I'm coming in. The least you could do is invite Bluff to watch you eating his steak.
It's not his, it's mine. Steaks are too good for dogs.
If I know you, you'd probably charge admission.
Oh.
I think dogs are too good to be used for excuses,
Poof.
too.
Dogs aren't good for anything except to be man's best friend. Now, let's see, where did I put my bundle, my loot, my treasure trove?
It's in the back of the ice box, Long John Silver, where you told me to put it when we came in.
Oh. Where is... Oh, there it is, behind everything. Oh, I'm starving just thinking about it. You know, it's a good thing I had so much hindsight beforehand.
Pass me a bottle of milk.
There you are.
Thank you, ma'am.
Goodness, he certainly wrapped my poor little piece of meat up in a lot of paper. Look at the size of the bag it's in. You'd think it was a whole turkey or something. Wasn't he a sweet waiter?
Anyone is sweet who does what you want him to do.
Well, that's as good a definition as any.
How you're going to eat any more steak, I'll never know.
Oh, you'll see. Hey, pour me a glass of milk, too, to go with my steak. You know, I think eating any other time but mealtime is the best. Can't wait. I just can't wait. My mouth is absolutely drooling. David!
What's the matter?
Oh, David, look!
Well. What a lot of bones.
7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at them all. Oh, I could murder that waiter cheerfully.
That sweet, generous, adorable, thoughtful waiter, you'll be eating these bones for a week.
I won't be eating them at all. He's given me everybody else's bones. I can't recognize mine.
As you go from bed making to vacuum cleaning, you sometimes stop long enough to switch the radio dial. Next time, stop just a little longer. Go to the refrigerator, get yourself an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola, and enjoy the pause that refreshes. Coke offers a pleasant break in your housework routine. It enables you to work refreshed.
Hey, fella, just a moment.
You speaking to me?
Yeah. You're a friend of that lady's who was here for dinner tonight. The one with the bones?
I indeed am her friend.
Maybe you'll be seeing her again soon?
Oh, I'll be seeing her again tomorrow.
Give her this for me.
It's an awfully large package.
Bones. Full of bones for her dog.
Well, this is very kind of you.
Forget it. We dog lovers got to stick together.
Well, I'll give Claudia the bones, but it'll be a little like rubbing it in.
Huh?
Well, the fact that things didn't turn out quite the way she expected. But then they rarely do. Like tomorrow, Claudia and David go to the beach for a swim, and what do they get? Ducks. Just like bones.
You feeling all right, fella?
I feel fine. And thanks for the bones. So long.
Yeah. So long.
Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
From September 16th, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Your name?
Civil defense is common sense. This is Boris Karloff. No one can guarantee the survival of every home during a nuclear war, but a strong civil defense can save millions of lives. Make sure that yours is one of them. Learn how to protect your home. Call Civil Defense today.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Pat Boone. In case of enemy attack, you must know your warning signals. A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means tune your radio dial to 640 or 1240. A 3-minute wavering tone or a series of short blasts, take cover immediately.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. Would you thank this station? Support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. If you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. You can hear our shows on demand anytime by going to classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. There you can stream the shows on demand. You can learn more about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find all of our social media links. You can contact me. And if you want to, you can buy me a coffee. That buy me a coffee will keep us in touch with you and help us purchase additional classic radio collections. I mentioned Casey Crime Photographer. We've also recently acquired episodes of the Black Museum and upgrades of the Casebook of Gregory Hood, so we can bring some of those shows to you. ClassicRadio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.